Welcome back to the second episode of the Game Set Match podcast. I'm your host, Jake, also known as JB Cigars, and I'm here with Chris from The Right Pour and Todd from Booze and Balling. And we're getting into a bunch of heavy hitters today, along with our starting topic, baseball, the Dodgers repeat. What's our take, boys?
I'm glad they did.
I'm glad it went 7 games.
Oh, 7 games was the best.
Yeah,
I think the 18-inning game was the best, and the World Series, like the 7th game, was crazy as well.
Straight up stayed up till like 2 a.m. watching that 18-inning game, and I was like, oh my God, why did I do this? But it was so good. It was riveting. So I couldn't not watch it.
Well, I love that it went, what was the double play at the end of game 6 to put him there to force the game 7?
Yeah.
When he threw him out at second, like that was close. It was almost over there.
Yeah.
I thought last night when Freeman hit the 3-run homer. Who hit that early? That wasn't. It was
I'm blanking. Rojas, right? Rojas.
No,
Bobuchet. Yeah.
When he hit the 3-run homer to go up early, I'm like, oh, holy shit! They might actually just run away with this from the get-go.
Yeah. The game. I mean, all the games in the entire World Series got better and better and better as they went on. I mean, you had the controversy of the ball getting stuck under the outfield wall and having the Dodgers win, and then you got some crazy homers, a crazy double play. I mean, Yamamoto was MVP and he pitched the lights out. I mean, I saw something that they paid $1.6 billion for all of their 4 pitchers that pitched during the World Series Game 7. Just absolutely crazy World Series, and you couldn't go wrong either way, Dodgers or Blue Jays. They're both great.
Yeah, they're both great. I'm glad the Dodgers did win, but damn, the whole series was just kept us on our toes the whole time, at least for me.
That's what you like to see. You don't want to see like a 4-1, which I kind of thought it might go, but I love that it goes 7 for the World Series.
Yeah, the Dodgers won 2, or the Blue Jays won 2 right away, and I was like, damn, they might win this, and had to win Game 4 to keep it going, and gosh.
Well, you know what? My one takeaway from that I really liked was the rookie pitcher, Trey Yesavage.
Yesavage, yeah,
he looked
unbelievable,
really good. He's going to be good for them for years to come.
For sure.
He showed up more in the playoffs.
Definitely.
I mean, he looked good throughout the season here and there, but he looked really good in this World Series.
Yeah, he looked so comfortable, like a longtime veteran, and it was just crazy to see a 22-year-old just so calm, cool, collected. If Yamamoto wasn't your MVP, who's your MVP? Because I could have said it was Shohei Ohtani from the get-go. I think playoff MVP was probably Shohei Ohtani with the amount of pitching and just to keep them alive in the the one game where he had 3 home runs and 10 Ks. Like, that's just crazy.
Well, yeah, on base 9 times in Game 3. Like, it would have been him.
Yeah. And I think if Yamamoto didn't seal it, it probably was Ohtani. I do think, even though they didn't win, I think Vladdy could have, if they had won, I think Vladdy would have won that. He was killer during this whole entire World Series run and playoff run. Okay, let's get into what we're drinking and why we all have a bunch of Larry's and Larrikin bottles. And Todd is decked head to toe in Larrikin gear. Pretty sure he has underwear on too. But we're going to get into our bourbon segment later with Larrikin. Let's go ahead and show them all what you're drinking. Chris is drinking the new cigar batch.
Batch number 1 to be specific.
I'm drinking their newest ALW that they just sent me, and I know Chris got the same bottle. This bottle is fantastic. It is hazmat, so baby sits tonight, baby sips. And what you got over there, Todd?
The single barrel Bourbon Festival Select.
Signed too.
Signed.
Oh yeah, I mean, you gotta have it signed.
Signed by Greg and wife.
Okay, we're gonna play a little game. If you can find the third Larrikin in Todd's screen, you win a prize.
It's funny.
Okay, here we go. Ready? That was nice.
Daddy lag.
I didn't even have a good pop. It wasn't worth mine.
I just popped this yesterday, so it makes sense.
I can't wait to talk about the Cigar Lounge later because it is one of my favorites from them.
I can't wait to.
Yeah, I ended up having the bottle too. I have it sitting over here. It's a part of my content, Fresh Pop Friday videos. I have it sit, but that full group of 4 is going to be a lot different in the coming weeks, and you'll see why.
We almost all went with the cigar batch today.
I know, we almost all did. We all have the bottle, but I didn't want to open mine yet because I promised the people that it was going to get picked for the Fresh Pop Friday, so I didn't do it. But I've had the sample, and it was killer enough to make me buy it. I know Chris and I bought it pretty much the same exact time. We were one order number apart.
Each other. I think
we were ordering.
It was like, should I do it? I don't know. I did it. All right, I'll do it too.
Yeah, and I already out with batch 2, so we'll see what happens.
Mine, I'm waiting for a buddy.
Can I just say I love the bottle shape because it's just different than anything else on my shelf. Like, I don't know, it's something about that little bottle shape, this little bulb on the neck. It's nice. I like it.
And the labels, they have like a leathery texture. for Larrikin.
Mhm.
Did you notice like these
They almost remind me of who's the bottle ice? It's like the E.H. Taylor barrels or the bottles where they have a little bit of texture to the front.
I never noticed that until you pointed it out, and I had to feel this
The
one. It kind
letter
of does have like that.
the letters are kind of embossed. But huge shout out to Larrikin for sending this bottle out and sending me the sample and a bunch of media stuff. I know it kind of got the social media train running for a lot of people in Larrikin. And starting out with an 8-year bottle and bond, which we'll get into later, and an 8-year single barrel, their stuff is just absolutely killer. But we're going to head into racing first with Chris. Crazy championship this weekend, huh, Chris?
Yeah, but real quick, so let's touch on the Martinsville race, because on the last episode, I was talking about how Chase Elliott or Ryan Blaney couldn't upset the championship 4, and Lord, did they come close. I mean, I don't know if y'all watched it, but they finished 2nd and 3rd, and William Byron finished 1st to move into the championship 4. So when I was talking about buy and sell of them, of the 9 and the 12 moving on to the championship 4, it was this close. But talking about that with the championship weekend, little like people don't know this, or if they're not paying attention, they don't know this. The number 12 actually won the race, not the championship, but he won the race. So if he actually upset Martinsville and then moved into the final 4, he would have won the championship by winning that race. So, I mean, it could have gone either way.
But I want to talk real quick about the paperclip, and I know we had some drama.
I was thinking about, actually probably going to say exactly what you were getting into, so go ahead. The drama at the end of the race.
I wanted to talk about the crazy ending or near ending with the paperclip and all of the rules and everything like that. And I know Chris is our resident NASCAR guy, so go ahead over there, Chris.
Yeah, I mean that whole ending with the paperclip alone is a unique setup of a racetrack too. But the way the ending was and the rules, and I mean it was a battle for the end, and it could have gone either way with that for sure. I can't really comment on it too much. Admittedly, I missed the end of the race for other things, but I know the drama in Martinsville is always top notch. I mean, when you're coming out of pit road with the paperclip, you can battle really hard, bump and swing, and so to be honest, I just didn't watch the end of the race.
I would say I liked the end of that, and then we did this the very first episode. We talked about the ending of Talladega too. So it seemed like the ending of this NASCAR kind of season, the last couple of races were just a lot closer, more interesting, and had some crazy endings compared to just a standard race. And
I love that too. It's like all the drama builds up through the laps, and you just get something crazy. And I know we record every 2 weeks on the Tuesday, and it gets posted the next week. So we got a little bit of in between, but I think the championship was an awesome one too.
Yeah, but also hot take. This is why I don't like the format. The championship for the whole weekend, not just the Cup Series. I mean, the Xfinity Series, Connor Zilic dominated this year, and he lost to Jesse Love because Jesse Love in the Xfinity Series just had a much better race. And I mean, dude, Connor Zilic is devastated. And I hate the freaking format of a one race championship. Like, I don't like this at all. And I think it shows, and it also shows for a driver that I hate in the Cup Series, Denny Hamlin, who ended up losing, who dominated the race. And I really didn't want him to win. Like, personally, I'm not a Denny Hamlin fan. Like, I don't want to see him win. But then at the end of the day, I was like, man, I like human to human, I felt terrible for him. Like, his dad is on oxygen. His dad is declining in health. They have a cigar that him and Michael Jordan are supposed to break the case open and smoke a cigar for the championship. And they're pretty confident this was the last championship that Denny Hamlin could potentially win. And it just didn't go in his favor. And I was like, damn, I actually feel bad, even though I was rooting against them.
So what do you propose could be a remedy to that? What would be a better way to do it?
This is part of your take for later, though, right? For the buy or sell?
It is, but I'll get in depth in it now, I guess, if that's cool. Okay. So my remedy is moving to a 3-race championship. So right now it's set up as you have your 16, then it goes down to 12, 8, 4. And the 4 is like your final race, but all those other segments are 3 races, right? I vote that we do 16, but knock out like 8 right away. Like, do your 3 races, knock out 8, and then go to 8 and then 4, but the 4 comes like to a 3-race segment. So you have, so as the schedule is next year, you'd have Martinsville, or actually in order, you're going to have Talladega, then Martinsville, and then Homestead, Miami. So you're getting a super speedway or a drafting track. You're getting a full-blown short track, and then you're getting basically an intermediate track at Homestead, Miami, which races so much better than Phoenix. Like, I was so pissed when they moved the championship from Phoenix, or to Phoenix from Homestead. I hated that. So going back there is great. But I think having these drivers go through 3 different types of tracks will, on a point system, will really show
who's a great driver all around.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And that's what I think would be a better option than just one race at Phoenix, because like I just touched on, Blaney won the race. Blaney could have won the championship if he made it into the round of 4. But the past 3 years, Blaney and Logano basically won the championships. I mean, it was Penske run because they know how to run at Phoenix. So if Penske was in the running, they won. Like you kind of predict that right away, and I did not like that.
It levels the playing field that way and takes away any or that could lose you. You're the best driver. A stupid little error, a little fender bend, or something happens that takes you out of contention when you're the best driver, gives you better odds and levels the playing field. I like that. I think that would be better. Kind of like with college football going to the playoff. Like it's nice to give.
It shows who the good teams are, and in this case, the good racers and the good overall teams, because you have different strategies and things like that. And I'm excited to see what kind of changes they make next year.
And speaking of strategies, that's what cost Denny the race. So touching on all those notes right there, right? Where someone could have a bad moment. Byron had a bad moment, 3 laps to go. He got into the wall. He's out of contention. Simple as that, right? Well, that 3 laps to go. Now people are coming down to pit road. All people stayed out, but they weren't in contention for the championship. Larson, who won, took 2 tires. Denny took 4 tires. That pushed him down to 10th place. How are you going to catch up to Larson, who started 5th? I mean, you got a lot to go. So that alone shows how that one single race, I don't want to say a bad call, but a misjudgment maybe ruined it for someone. And he was the dominant car. So all those points are very valid along that, 1 3-lap section of the championship.
That's just crazy to lose on that little short change.
Something stupid.
Speaking of changes, we had a lot changing in the NFL this week. And I want to start with the winners and losers this week. And I think my winners were the Bears, man. They keep coming back. They keep winning. And it goes to show you that a good coach can help that. And my loser this week is the Colts. What do you think about that, Todd?
I agree. I like the Bears. And the biggest winner for me for the Bears is the dude that I liked out of Rutgers, that Kyle Manung guy. They gave him the start.
Huge week in Swift's absence.
Yeah, he got the start, and I mean, I said it from the beginning that I thought because the trade deadline at the time of filming this has just passed, but I thought they would
just ended tonight at 4:00.
Yeah,
and 9,
I thought they would move Swift because I like Manunga. He's 5'9", 209 pounds. Back-to-back 1,200-yard seasons at Rutgers. A good running back who I thought they were going to make their guy. Got the start. Looked like the better running back. You don't need a receiving back like Swift in that offense with all the weapons. He's a better fit for that. And I think that offense ran better having a downhill runner. He looked good. I think it made the Bears offense better because now linebackers have to watch out for him.
Yeah, I think Swift, I'm surprised Swift didn't get traded at all. I think he'll fit in a system that's better for kind of a passing game than a rushing game, or as like a number 2 back on 3rd down. I don't think he's found his exact home in the last couple of years, going from Detroit now to the Bears, hitting Philly on the way through. But I think the Bears are on a roll. I think Ben Johnson's the difference, and just goes to show you coaching can change so much. I know we talked about it on your pod, that it just, sometimes teams just need a change, and the Bears got it with Ben Johnson, and I think Loveland's coming out to play. I mean, he broke that touchdown to win it. Crazy.
That was such a that game was such a crazy
wild
end to that game.
What was it, like 80 points scored or something like that? 80 plus points scored. I think it was like 43, 42 or whatever. And my big losers this week were the Colts. Daniel Jones looked like New York Daniel Jones. 6 turnovers himself. Jonathan Taylor could not run. I'll give credit to the Steelers. Steelers can figure things out. But no, I think the Colts for sure just did not look like they game planned well against the Steelers.
They humbled and they came back down to earth a little bit.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I will say this. Their strength of schedule was not the greatest to start the season.
No, but I like them as a loser like that because it does bring them down. And now they have that hurdle of, okay, we looked so good. Now we got humbled. I think it's added pressure to look good again next week or their next game.
And they play in London this weekend. So that's going to be an interesting game.
Now, has Jones had a better record? Because obviously we know I don't follow it as much. He had a better record than when he was at the Giants, because I knew he was not
way better
at the Giants.
Well, way better so far. I think the pieces around Daniel Jones in New York were not the greatest. I know he had Saquon, but once you stop Saquon, you were kind of done in New York. I think the weapons for the Colts are a lot better. Their O-line is a lot better, but Their O-line got absolutely dusted this weekend and caused, TJ Watt actually, I was kind of trashing him because I thought Myles Garrett was, just way ahead of him now. But it shows that the, TJ Watt's still that guy and still causing havoc. But Daniel Jones looked like befuddled the entire day.
He did. He looked like he looked back in New York. No, as far as looking in his completion percentage, everything is just better since he left New York. And like you said, it could be coaching, it could be that. It's kind of like everybody leaving the Jets, they look better. Everybody leaving the Giants, they look better. It's situational, but he definitely looks like he looked this week like he looked in New York. It looked like the same offense. Can't get anything going. And when you have to put it all on his shoulders and you don't have your run game, he will make mistakes. He will.
And I think the Steelers, and I give Tomlin credit for this all the time. He knows how to play the Ravens as well for this. But they came out and just put 8 in the box, and their goal was to stop the run to make Daniel Jones throw.
And they did it.
And they did it. They didn't. The Steelers didn't score a lot of points to win that game. It was still a very close game after, if you look at the actual scoreboard, 26-20. But I'm excited to see what the future week has. Who's your big games to watch this weekend, Todd?
I like the same ones you do. I want to see the Bucks and the Pats.
That's gonna be a good game to see if the Pats are as worthy as we think they are, and then in vice versa, do the injured Bucks still have it?
And I think they're getting a little bit healthier. I don't know the status 100% on Bucky Irving.
Bucky back yet? I think he's back next week.
I think he's supposed to be back. And then Chris Godwin, there is a chance. I think he's going to miss one more week, but Egbuka is a lot healthier. So the Bucks are a little bit healthier than they've been the last 2 weeks. So I like that matchup. It's gonna show a lot about more to see what the Pats are made of. And I like the Ravens Vikings matchup.
Yeah, I mean the Vikings put a hurting on the Lions this weekend. I thought the Lions were going to smoke them. Kind of worried as a Ravens fan a little bit this weekend. The Vikings have somewhat figured it out, I guess, in the run game. I mean, my running backs, Jonathan Taylor and Jahmyr Gibbs, got absolutely shitwalled this week. I had like 12 points out of them, but
I had nothing.
My last one is your team, Todd, the Packers versus the Eagles. I'm excited to see that matchup, and I got a hot take about the Packers later.
I think that should be a good game.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's going to coming out of the Eagles bye week. It's going to be a test coming out and playing a hot team like the Packers. So
yeah, I know we're going to talk about injuries and some free agency since the end of today, but I want to talk about how bad the primetime games have been recently. I think all of the games have been absolute blowouts. I know we're talking about some freak injuries later here shortly, but the games have all been absolute blowouts, and they're getting real boring. And then you got Denver going to Las Vegas, or Denver at home versus Las Vegas Raiders. I don't think that game's going to be very good either.
No, it doesn't give you a reason to stay up late and watch football if you're on the East Coast.
No, not at all. I know we'll probably be in our Discord hangout for that, but I'm not looking forward to it whatsoever. I think it's I'm looking forward to the Monday night game. That's gonna be my one to watch.
Yeah, I mean a 2-6 team versus 7-2 for prime time, like really.
And to be fair, the Broncos have had some games where you're kind of scratching your head, but a lot of NFL teams have, and I think the Raiders just haven't figured it out yet. They traded Jacoby Myers today.
Mm-hmm.
So besides Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, and Trey Tucker, they got no one to catch the ball.
No, absolutely.
I'm really surprised.
Not.
I know we have Sauce Gardner going to the Colts for 2 first-round picks and A.D. Mitchell. That's a crazy trade.
Yeah.
And I don't think Sauce has been all that great this year. He was great his first year. I know the Jets program's a little, you need to get out of New York to show. New York was selling hard.
Yeah, they sold
both teams.
Yeah, they got rid of their tackle.
They sell to begin with, but yeah.
Yeah, they got rid of their cornerback. They got rid of a tackle. They got rid of 2 corners and a tackle. Like that's
Quentin Williams is a game changer too, and I'm eager to see how these guys go to a different team and make an impact. Because to be fair, the Jets, they shouldn't have beat the Bengals. No offense, but they shouldn't have, and they're just not a good team.
Well, I like that the Eagles ended up getting 3 players and the Jets got rid of 3. So I'm excited. I think it's interesting. The Eagles bought, the Cowboys bought, and the Jets sold. It's crazy.
And what's funny is I'm eager to see, and we've talked about this, I'm eager to see what the Jets actually do with those picks, because I wouldn't be surprised if they blow some draft picks on stupid people.
Well, they're definitely going to do that.
No offense, but it's just I couldn't be a Jets fan. I don't know how people do it.
More power to them. They've been riding this train.
They've been riding the train. I know I have a lot of friends from New York or family friends, and they're like, we're more of a Ravens fan this year.
The quick
recently.
The one trade I think
Rightfully so.
relevant for fantasy wise, the Jacoby Myers you mentioned about leaving Vegas, going to the Jaguars, who are really beat up at pass catchers. That could be a
Because Travis
really
Hunter's IR for the year.
Yep.
And
Brian Thomas Jr. is dealing with, I think, an ankle injury, and their tight end,
He'll be
Brenton
out for a
Strange,
couple
is
weeks.
also out. So it's a good opportunity for Jacoby Myers for him. I think he went to a really great situation just for him to be
For sure.
relevant.
I think that because we do the poll host for Tenglen, and the hardest game for me this week was the Jags versus the Texans. Both, the Jags have a better record, but they just haven't played up to their potential. I think they played a little bit better this weekend, but still not. But I want to talk about some freak injuries, starting with Jaden Daniels. And I know you have a buy or sell about this later, Todd, but I know we talked about on the phone that you kind of want to track it. What's your take on it? Some of them have been nasty too.
Yeah, I'd really like to. This year, I feel like there's been a lot of injuries, but a lot of serious injuries, and I'd like to go back for one of these episodes, maybe before our next one. I want to go back and just kind of statistically major injuries over the last few years and see if it is really worse this year or it's just hitting more profile players. But the Jaden Daniels one, that was. You can only re-see it on TikTok or social media. They wouldn't re-show it in the game.
They re-showed it one time and then saw it and didn't show it again.
Now, apparently, it's not as bad as what they had originally thought. They think that it technically might not be a season-ending injury. The thing is, they're not going to be competitive come the end of the year, so it's going to be season-ending in that aspect.
I mean, they lost Lattimore too. They lost Luke McCaffrey to a broken collarbone. They're depleted.
So even if he can play, there's no point in bringing him back at the end of the year. Side note: the Eagles won on the bye week because every NFC East team lost. So
I want to talk about how bad the Cowboys are too. The Cowboys defense is out there doing somersaults.
They are.
I want to talk about two topics and about the injuries because I think Tucker Kraft's had a bad one. Right. Tyreek Hill's had a bad one. Who else had a really bad one? I just had on my mind that I saw the other day that was disgusting. I mean, I can't remember. The only ones I can remember.
Scadaboo's ankle turned sideways.
That one was nasty. There was one other one I was thinking about, but I just think that the injuries have been. Fred Warner's was nasty too. His was disgusting. But yeah, I just think like the high profile-ness of the injuries this year have been just on a bigger level.
And that's what it is. Is it more that it's high profile players or is it more in general? I'm going to do some research on that. I got homework now.
You got some homework?
Yeah, you and me both, because now I'm kind of curious myself.
It kind of piques your interest, right? You're like, is it really as bad as it seems? I'm going to go with yes.
I mean, the one I can remember that I think that's not this season that was the most disgusting one I can remember was Aiden Hutchinson when his ankle like wrapped around Dak's leg. That was disgusting. That was
pretty gnarly.
That one was absolutely that one, and I don't like that stuff. Like I want to throw up when I see it, but that one was.
And Nick Chubb
crazy one.
Was it last year, the year before? His watching his knee go backwards was interesting.
Oh yeah, I mean, Keaton Mitchell did the same thing where his knee went like straight. So. But some of them are nasty this year, and I want to see how we track that, Todd, versus the past and back. I also want to track to see if the Giants-Jets field's cursed, because I know a lot of players get injured there, and if the Redskins field's cursed as well, because a lot of injuries come from those two fields.
Weird thing about the Redskins that you said that. You mean the Commanders?
Redskins. They're Redskins.
So, do you remember
always be the Redskins
Alex
to me.
Smith's injury when his leg really bad leg injury?
Same yard line as Joe Namath and like the same like day or whatever.
Yeah, the same exact stats. How weird is that? No, it's funny. Somebody said, who was it making a comment about? Was it JJ Watt? No, somebody made a comment about the field at MetLife. And that, like, if it is get this stigma and you see a lot of injuries, that he believes that the NFL should do something and have the fields be up to a standard. And because you do statistically it seems like you get hurt more on that field. One of the NFL players was saying, like, you would think the NFL would be like, look, okay, you got to bring your field up to standard. Every field should be up to at least a certain standard. And I think they're one of the only fields that are still in the condition that it's in. And of course, you got two teams playing on it as their home field, I guess.
Now, do you think
that's been that way for a while too?
Yeah, I'm curious. Do you think turf is better or like true grass?
True grass, 100%.
True grass is definitely better.
It gives better. It's the way that, like, I think the injuries happen the most when your cleat kind of gets stuck in the turf.
Yeah,
per se, whereas the grass kind of slides or moves with the player, in that sense. I know it's a little harder to play on, especially when it's a rainy game or whatever, but
Or like Buffalo when it's snowing like hell.
Yeah.
But they have a new field coming out. I'm excited to see their new
they do.
stadium.
Yeah, definitely the unforgivingness of the turf does, I think, hurt cutting, because if you cut and your leg sticks, your knee goes, but your foot doesn't.
Yeah, that's the biggest one. But let's head over to college football. We got some big winners and some big losers this week. Big winner this week, Texas is back on the train, beating a 9th-ranked Vandy. Vandy's had some great games this season. I know they lost to Bama, but they still been going strong and only lost until Texas beat them at home. Crazy game. What else you got over there?
I think it's going to come down to the wire to see the top 12 teams making the playoff. I think there's a lot of jumping around, and the only thing that I think for certain is I'm pretty sure Ohio State's going to stay number 1, and they're going to produce the Heisman winner. That's the only certainty that I think. I think the front runner for me is Julian Saint for Heisman. So
Well, you remember that Ty Simpson had a bye this week.
That's true. And they're trying to say Mendoza.
I think Ty Simpson's still good.
I read some people say Mendoza's up there. But
I also think, I think Mendoza's up there. I just think Mendoza hasn't. I think the two things is Ohio State and Indiana really haven't played anybody. Bama's had to play 3 or 4 top 10 teams already.
Sure.
So it's a whole different ball game. But
I think Indiana had a pretty easy schedule myself.
Yeah,
they killed Maryland this week. So
that's what some of the tweets I was reading about. It was the fact that, like, with Mendoza, it's more of he's putting up good numbers and looks good, but is he the quarterback making the most impact on his team or making the biggest impact?
And I think the Heisman MVP we talked about, there's no consistency with it. And I think it's interesting to see with the 12-team playoff how much that impacts the view on who's going to win the Heisman, who can win it down the line, who can play through the bye and win.
Well, I think your top players at the top of the Heisman board at that point are playing quality defenses. They're playing quality teams. They have to rise to the top. So, you're going to really see who deserves it more instead of just saying you played a bunch of no names and some good teams. You're the best player. Here's the Heisman. You're going to have to perform in a 12-team playoff. And if you shit the bed, then you shit it in front of everybody. And I like that.
Yeah. Speaking of shit in the bed, Georgia Tech lost at NC State, a first loss in the season, and a surprising one. I actually was surprised Georgia Tech lost. They've been on a heater. First loss of the season. Also, I want to talk about with Chris, Georgia versus Florida in the swamp.
Yeah. Yep. They're
squeaked one out.
Yeah,
squeaked one out.
Barely at that. Oh my god, dude! I was on my tippy toes watching that game. I actually not gonna lie, surprised they won it. Yeah,
Georgia's had some very, very close wins this season, but it goes to show you that. Yeah, but it's not always a bad thing when you're looking at you want to have some testers to really challenge your team mentally, physically for the rest of the season going into a now 12 bracket playoff.
I think it even challenged Kirby as the coach a little bit too. Like I think Florida did some unsuspecting things that Georgia wasn't prepared for, and that's kind of why it was a little closer than it should have been. Georgia's had some tough opponents too to play against. I mean, they played Bama, they've played Tennessee, now they play Florida, and Florida always gives them a good game. It's kind of like the Ravens Steelers, but I just think it's the college football playoff is going to be a good one this year. Just showing how crazy the college football landscape has been as a whole this year. What you got for upcoming games this weekend, Todd? Not a lot.
Not a lot
of good ones.
The only one not that I'm necessarily looking forward to it is I like when 2 top-ranked teams play. So BYU, Texas Tech. I like that.
7 versus 8.
One of them is going to get knocked out of the top 10, potentially top 12, depending how the rest of the week plays out. But right now they're in the race, so this game means a lot to how far you could drop. Even though they're closely ranked, it's just I like top ranked teams going against top ranked teams,
especially top 10. And I will say that I'm eager to test it out. I'm probably going to track this based on now that the 12-team playoff. How does it go against playing some teams that you're not used to playing? Like BYU and Texas Tech don't always play the best teams. Going into hard to play tough opponents at the beginning of the season. Does it help you? Does it hurt you? Does it, playing the small schools, the Kents and those things early on help you or hurt you for the 12-team playoff?
I'd be curious.
Yeah. Only other game I'm looking forward to is Oregon going to 20-ranked Iowa. So
I'd like to see
not a lot of good games there.
Yeah, I think Oregon puts on good games more often than not.
They do
lately.
They got to go away, but it's still going to be an interesting game. I know we got a couple Oregon fans in the Discord, so we'll see their reaction to see how. I don't have to watch the game to know what what's going on in that one. But Chris, let's head over to UFC, and we had another fight night. And what's recent in the UFC world?
So UFC 321, Mackenzie Dern from Brazil did end up taking the title on her title fight, but that was a good match. But the only thing I hate was the Aspinall Gain fight, man, ended in the first round because of an eye poke. A nasty one at that. I mean, Aspinall cannot see for a week. I'm not even kidding. I think like I last looked Friday, because this happened 2 Saturdays ago now, and he was still wearing an eye patch for one eye, could not see out of it, and he still had like 30% vision out of the other. I mean, he just got both fingers to both eyes. It was, dude, it was bad.
Did it seem purposeful, or was it more of an accidental, like kind of grappling?
It wasn't grappling. So Gain was like kind of throwing a block, and he like, instead of like throwing like holding his fist up, he went for a full finger spread and just kind of like went in. And I don't necessarily think it was purposeful, but I also think he knew what he was doing. Like he knew Tom out was going to stop him, but I don't think he was aiming for the eyes either, if that makes sense.
He's going, come here.
It was bad.
Do you think there'll be any kind of disciplinary act to Aspinall at all?
No, because
got hit. Gain.
No, they just called it a no contest, and that was that.
Yeah, you would have heard right away after it that there was talk of it being intentional, but I only saw some clip. I didn't see the full fight, but yeah, like you said, it looked like he didn't try it, but he didn't try and avoid it, so you can't really say it was intentional.
I'm gonna start watching more UFC now that I'm at Paramount when we talk about that last podcast.
It was called a no contest at round 1, 4 minutes and 35 seconds. So out of a 5-round match, it really wasn't relatively gone that far. Yeah, but I gotta say, Aspinall looked bloody as hell. If you look to the highlights, Aspinall was getting knocked around pretty decent, going into it.
I know. I went to take a shit, came back, and it was over.
Yeah, pretty much. That's literally what it was. It was like Aspinall got some.
It was equivalent to the shit. It was a shit. It was a shit match.
Out, it was it. That was game over.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go refill my cocktail. Come back. It's still done.
Oh, I like the eyes and the nuts are the no-nos
for
me.
It makes me like I have a phobia of things near my face. It
makes me feel like I got hit in the eyes. Yeah, I didn't. But
you think of the eye poke, and it's like, oh my god, I feel it.
I've had like 4 eye surgery.
You feel bad if you get like a freaking, I get like an eyelash in there. I can't imagine.
I get shit poked in the eye. I've had 4 eye surgeries where they get me like.
Oh yeah. I put my contact in the other day and managed to get a dog hair in the process. Oh my god, I thought I was dying.
I couldn't do contacts. If I had to get, I'd have to wear glasses. I can't do it. I can't even touch my own eye. People mess with me and go like that, and I'll like freak out. So I got hit in the face with. I went blind in one eye. I went blind in one eye for like 3 months because I got hit with a wet hacky sack. I don't know if you've ever felt a wet hacky sack. It's like a rock. I got hit.
They suck.
I got hit in the eye from about 4 feet away. Someone threw like a baseball and it hit me right here, bleeding from here, blind, blood clot in the colored part of my eye. So like I have such a phobia. So when everybody says like an eye poker, this or that, like I actually poked my daughter in the eye the other day, and I went to pick her up. We were wrestling, and I caught her like right there. I just felt like her eyelid a little bit, and I like freaked out. I was like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" Because I'm so like phobic of it. Like, ugh. So then as soon as you said that, I got literally
such like a history with it.
Goose pimples all over my body when you said that. I'm like,
yeah, goose pimple. That's a good one. That's a good
one. Instead of goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Yeah, it's just weird. People talk differently.
I say a lot of weird stuff,
right? Yeah, the eye thing. Yeah, it's like, oh my god, like just watching his finger go into his eye. I was like, got the creeps.
Yes. All right. Can we move on from the eye, for Christ's sake?
Next, we're heading to our buy and sell. And speaking of eye pokes, Chris, you're going to go first on this one.
Buying on the rule change for the UFC. So because of the eye poke, they from my research, went into meetings about changing a rule for more disciplinary or stricter or harsher penalties because of the eye pokes. I mean, we don't want to see these guys lose eyesight over it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just to let you guys know, we were doing buy or sell. Now we're doing buy and sell. So what is your sell this week, Chris?
Sell the championship current format for NASCAR. We touched on it before.
Talked about that earlier.
Get rid of this dang single race. And I'll even take a step further, because as much as sometimes I do like it because it favors my driver, but get rid of this freaking overtime of green, white, checkered. Get rid of that, because that can change so many different out aspects of the race.
Interesting.
Why did Larry move to
Interesting.
your mic stand? I didn't realize he was
there the whole
sitting.
time.
I was like, why is he not on your bottle? And then I just found him sitting. I'm sorry.
Speaking, good segment. Speaking of Larrikin, going to the buy or sell segment, I am buying Larrikin. And I know we're having a Larrikin episode, why we're all drinking Larrikin, why there's Larrys everywhere. But I want to shout out to Larrikin for sending me numerous packages now. The cigar batch, the now ALW. I mean, who sends out
Same.
143 proof ALWs? I was a huge fan of theirs when I got to like 100 mLs of their 8-year, you heard that right, 8-year bottle and bond, 8-year single barrel. Both fantastic. I know some of the other 10 Glen owners have tried their stuff from me and now have some of their own bottles, but I'm buying Larrikin, and I would think you guys would both agree on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Love Larrikin.
And if you don't have your package readily available, I will show what the media package consisted of, because it was not just the ALW.
I'm guessing he does have it nearby.
Of course I do. I made the other video.
Close enough. It's close.
It's close enough.
So if you guys don't know that Chris and I are both on the Larrikin media team, thank you so much for Larrikin for it. So this was in the package along with Larry. I have another Larry upstairs, but they gave us a collapsible cup, which is pretty cool. Also kind of an ornament. I thought about this. It could be just be a single ornament, but collapsible plastic cup or a rubber cup. Awesome. Pops out. I know Chris said he was going to put his on his boat.
Yeah, you did. I remember
Everything
that.
goes on the boat now.
This is Fat Wombat ginger beer. Also has alcohol in it, so beware. And that comes with their Melbourne Mule, and it's supposed to go together with also some a straw and some dehydrated limes. So I'm gonna make the cocktail soon. I didn't get a chance to before this video or this recording.
And that's why I kind of agree with you on the buy and Larrikin. I mean, the fact that they thankfully sent us out this whole package of like, hey, make this cocktail that we're providing you. Dude, that's freaking awesome. Like, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not upset. I like getting free stuff, but I was a little upset we couldn't get the full Larrikin cigar batch bottle. I know they gave us samples, and we ended up giving one an ounce of it away. They sent us 2-ounce samples, but they've been so gracious. But yeah, but we ended up buying it anyway.
Yeah,
they just they sent us a cigar. If you just didn't know, for the other media kit, the box is right there. It had a cigar in it. It had their cigar batch, had a bunch of stickers. I mean, Larry's on a bunch of their stickers. But yeah, no. So I mean, their stuff's been incredible. I love and we can talk about more in the bourbon segment, which we're going to get into later. But quickly, I am selling the Packers, and I'm selling the Packers because they had so much hype going into the season. I was excited to see what this team was going to do. I thought for sure they were going to probably win the NFC North and give the Lions a run for their money. They have not lived up to the hype. They just lost to the Panthers this weekend. What?
That name.
I don't know what else to say, but I'm selling the Packers, and I think a bunch of people would agree. And the craziest part is you trade for Michael Parsons, and you would think your defense could stop somebody. Just can't. Neither can the Cowboys. So both teams lost that trade, if you ask me.
Yeah, not living up to hype at all.
No, I think Mike is not 100% still with his whole back injury, but
he's the only one I think is living up to doing his job. But the amount of receivers and weapons that the Packers have, their offense should be
now without
better.
Tucker Kraft. But yes, which kills me because he's on my fantasy team.
He's on mine too. That's okay. I'm picking up Luke Musgrave. This Luke Musgrave season. Just saying that. Yeah,
I mean, they have Josh Jacobs. I think football really comes down to O and D line. Packers have not lived up to their hype for D line or O line except for Micah. That's my reason for selling. What you got over there, Todd, for your buy and
sell? So my buy, since you said it, obviously, Larry.
You're selling Larry the way you
Larry.
him.
God, this is eat him across the table there. I'm buying the American Light Whiskey because I don't have it, and I'm not in the media mailing list
a little jealous
yet. But I do got a T-shirt. You got a T-shirt. But no, you guys have talked that up, said it's so good. So I'm literally buying the ALW, and it's.
I mean, to be fair, guys, this is a 7-year at 143 proof hazmat ALW. I don't know where they got it from. It's not their juice, but it's still incredible.
But I'm literally
cheaper than this one.
I
love this one.
It is coming to me in the mail. So
you already bought it?
I couldn't be any more. It's in my cart. I'm buying it, but I was going to wait. I might buy another one of these because I'll get to it. But I love this bottle.
Can you get another one of those on their website?
I can't get the single barrel bourbon festival barrel, but I can get the.
You can get another single.
It's generally a 9-year. This is an 8-year, but either way.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, ALW as a whole has been a huge thing this year, and Larrikin has just. I've had some of the guys in live blinds, and I know we can do a live blind later, but just an 8-year bottle and bond is beating out straight from the barrel some disco 11s and things like that from our live blinds, and
Larrikin doesn't miss.
To show you that
Larrikin hasn't missed.
They haven't missed, and I know we'll talk about them more and their now history.
But we can get there. I'll give you my sell, and then we can get right back to them.
Go ahead, buddy.
Quick sell, easy thing is I'm selling coaches keeping their stars in blowout games, whether you are up big or you are down big, i.e. the Jaden Daniels injury. There was no reason for him to be running the ball, let alone in the game. He's your most important piece. He's the centerpiece of your team. You have no shot of winning that game unless it's an absolute miracle and you get 3 onside kicks in a row. Get him out of the game. And then even if you're like a blowout team, like sometimes like the Lions will be up 35 points and still running your stars, Goff, Gibbs, St. Brown.
They did it last.
Get some stars. Now, granted, this isn't a fantasy football podcast, but if a fantasy football, you want them in there. But as far as for like the same thing with the eye poke for the UFC and the safety, get the stars out of the game, especially if your team isn't in contention and you don't need them in there. Get them out of the game.
Yeah, I do not disagree with you, but there's also the case that my buddy brought up today, which I thought was a good one. The Denver Broncos were down by 33 and came back and won that game. So you never know. I doubted that the Commanders would have, or the Redskins would have came back in that game. But it's still, there's always a possibility
to the wrong one.
Which it's the right team. But no, I think I don't disagree with you. I think it's hard as a head coach because you're trying to show management and things like that. You're trying to win, but you do need to protect your valued assets. Now,
like you said, Lattimore gone, Luke McCaffrey gone.
McCaffrey gone.
Get him out.
Broke his collarbone. I mean, yeah, I know I was excited to see what the Commanders did this year. I thought they were going to give the Eagles a run for their money.
Mm-hmm. I expect them to be the number 2 in the NFC East.
I was expecting them to be number 2, possibly cutting on those heels of the Eagles. But I think the division for you guys is a little easier than it was last year. Last year's division was killer hard, and you've had some freak injuries just in that division alone. So it's an interesting one. But we ready to head over to Larrikin for the bourbon segment?
I've never won anything more in my life.
Okay. So if y'all don't know that Lawrenceburg Distilling Company is now Larrikin, it has changed, and the owner, Greg Keneally, is also the master distiller, and he is a former veteran of both the U.S. and Australian navies.
Mm-hmm.
I have loved the Larrikin product. They do not distribute it, and I don't think in any of our states, but I reached out to them a while back about getting, possibly having the chance to try it. They sent a whole big kit out to me. I think it kind of sparked the media setup for them. I said earlier they had an 8-year bottle and bond and an 8-year 120 proof single barrel. What companies do you know that have that as such a younger company in looking at Larrikin? But as Lawrenceburg Distilling Company, they have a lot more age with their barrels, and I've enjoyed so much of their stuff.
I like you pointed out that it used to be Lawrenceburg.
They were Lawrenceburg first.
Yep, and that's what I think is that they were lucky enough to buy out what Lawrenceburg already had, which already was putting out good stuff. They just weren't as well known. And then this whole social media thing really just pushed them really, really well. Sending out media kits to people like us, pushing their own social media as well has really helped them grow, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of bourbon TikTok, since we're all creators on bourbon TikTok, I know it's been more difficult with restrictions and stuff lately, but I will say Larrikin and Kings tend to be the two I see the most in the bourbon TikTok landscape. You don't see a lot of the big guys doing that. They're all on Instagram. They post a couple of pictures a week and they call it done. But it's the inventiveness of Larrikin, their content, and King's content as well has just been unbelievable. I mean, they're so smart for sending out media sample kits, and even having a curated cocktail for the whole thing is just so crazy. Who sends out free 143 proof ALW hazmats? I don't.
Whole
how many
bottles.
Companies would?
Whole bottles.
Yeah,
too.
Whole bottles. Not even samples. I mean, I thought it'd be a sample until I saw Will open his, and I was just like, "Holy crap! I'm excited for that package now."
Because I wasn't even home to get it. My wife was, and I was like, I saw her on the security camera. I was like, "Dang, that's a pretty big box. Where's that from?" She goes, "Oh, that's from Larrikin." And I was like, "That is way bigger than the last media package. Like that is a full box."
The last package. To give you context of boxes, This was the Larrikin cigar sample. This was the Larrikin bourbon, the ALW sample. Bottle. So
it was drastically different.
Drastically different. My first box was about the size of the cigar blend box, and just crazy to think that these companies are really focusing on the media, and as content creators, that's an awesome idea to do. Are we doing an arms cross party?
I didn't realize we were all doing that.
That's just what I do.
Contagious. Sorry, I could do this like the kangaroo, like Larry does.
All right.
What's you got?
I like,
which is funny because like Larry is a dude, but they give us a girl kangaroo with a pouch. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there.
That's detail. Well, I mean, technically, it's fair. It's a girl. It's co-owned. I mean, Katie is co-owner, husband and wife owned, which is kind of cool.
Correct.
But I do like, and even though Greg is funny, he's on social, like Larrikin has their social media, and then Greg has his own social media where he's actually a really funny guy. I got to meet him, like he signed the hat for me. I got to meet him at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
Signed that bottle.
Signed the bottle. They were just so willing. I sat with him and had such a good conversation with him and the people there, and then got invited to an event after the festival, went to an event with them. The whole time, talking, friendly, engaging. No matter who you were, come up and talk to him. They would have conversations with you, which was really nice that they were willing to just spend the time and talk to people. And
it's awesome.
Like I bought a couple bottles, and then when I got back, I opened my bag and I had all this stuff in there from them, like that I didn't buy. They're just such a good company, awesome. Willing to give back and give to people to promote, and just they like their stuff. They want to share it.
And shit.
They give you free underwear over there.
I don't wear underwear. I don't wear underwear.
Okay, that's not right.
I love how they're willing to give that stuff to you, and I'm sure they gave it to plenty of other people too, just as like a thank you support, because they give away a couple free shirts or bar mats. Like, okay, what's that to them? That's pretty low on their profit margin, right?
Yeah,
so they can give those away, but that makes you want to come back, you know? So like, oh, their juice is good, but they're also giving me some of this free stuff like every now and then. Like you want to support them more because of that.
Their juice is really good.
And I know all three of us have talked about it. We did, a bigger company at Penelope last week, or 2 weeks ago. But I think Larrikin has some of the best craft juice that is around, and to have them, and I love live blinds, and I know we're probably going to do a live blind soon. And Greg, if you're watching this, come on the pod. We'd love to have you on here. But I just think, as a whole, like, you don't see many craft distilleries with the age that they have, 8 to 9 years now, and you also don't see a company willing to market, send out that kind of thing. I mean, most companies, they'll send out to their big players who've been their supporter or that kind of thing for a long, long time. As Todd pours another sample, but
he's not. I'm not far behind him.
I love their stuff. I've had this, had the cigar, had the rose water, had the bottle and bond. I had their maple. It's nothing I had from them I would buy at any given moment. It was some of the best stuff. I was going to tell you, so like I have my top 3 bottles from the Bourbon Festival, and this is in my top 3 bottles. That's awesome. I brought home 36 bottles. I tasted so much stuff there.
God dang, I thought I came home with a lot.
I
wasn't even there.
This was one of my favorite bottles.
I was like 28.
Period. Like on the whole festival. And I don't know if you guys have you had this one yet? The single barrel? If not, I should say.
No, I haven't had that one. No. I only have this bottle, and I have their cigar batch. I had the two 200 ml samples they sent me.
Did you try the rose water?
No, I don't know if I'd be a big fan of that. But
see, I actually wanted to talk about that because I thought that was like one of the most unique. Now, once again, I haven't had it, but 100%. I think it was one of the most unique.
I have it.
Interesting takes that is on the market. Like, who the heck decides? Oh, let me throw rose water with bourbon and call it a day.
So
like
they make a tea.
I'm intrigued by that.
They make a tea. So they have a rose water tea. So what they do with the rose water, it's a very light bourbon. But so when distill it, instead of distilling with the water, they use the tea to distill it, which gives it its flavor. So it's got a subtle like rose floral, not overpowering. I'm not a big fan of florally, but right. It's a very nice, like very light, easy rose floral kind of finish to it. But yeah, they use the rose water tea that they make to distill it instead of the water, which is really an awesome kind of concept.
Yeah, and no one else does that. Now, did you try that before you bought it, or were you just like, that sounds unique, I'm getting it?
The rose water had Angry Mac had sent a handshake when my wife and I were doing her little journey. he had sent over 3-chord, and the Rosewater was the first, because I've been wanting to try Larrikin forever, but you can't get it here. And I've seen it,
Right.
and I've watched some reviews for the last probably year on it. And then he said, okay, try the Rosewater. You'll like it. And it's something your wife will like. So he sent that over and had that handshake. And I was
Angry
like, you know
Mexico.
what? Like it's light. It's easy. It's good. And then when we went to the festival and I tried all their stuff, I'm like, shit, I like all of this. So I picked up the Rosewater because it is, like you said, it is unique. I brought that back because it's good. And it's an easier drinker for someone who's not really like into the heavy palate. But this right here, like their cigar batch, I love their cigar batch. But this has like this orange citrusy to it. It's one of the best bottles I had at the festival.
I think the samples they had originally sent me had just so much dark fruit flavors that I loved, and that's what really kind of led me into it. Just was so smooth with a higher proof and a higher age statement for a craft distillery. It's just, I think they're getting to that point where it's going to get a little less craft, and I judge a craft a lot of times on if we get it in the state or not. I know we had a conversation in the group chat about distilleries that are or are not at this point craft or that lower craft threshold, and I know all three of us have difficult states to get stuff, but I'm excited to see if Larrikin comes to the state when they come to the state, because their stuff is just so killer. I would love to do a pick with them. So if you're seeing this, Larrikin, get Greg on here and let's do a pick, and we could do a live episode at
Now,
the
quick thing,
distillery.
right? I'm in. Now, quick thing. So, Todd, I know you said that yours has a lot of orange zest or oranginess to it, citrus. JB, are you getting that on the ALW? Because when I opened up my ALW, I got orange forward. It was very citrusy for me. It was different than most ALWs that I've ever had.
You should pour another one to try. Pour another glass.
I'm already getting fucking toasted over here.
Just chug from the bottle. You know what? Honestly, you're going to get the best palate if you just tip that bottle back down your throat.
I will. So I'm going to pull out my.
Yeah,
if only Todd had his awkward. I think you can get there, buddy. We'll send some clips of the podcast of us talking about it. You can send some clips.
I'm still getting like that orangey.
I'll message Greg.
It's like almost like an orange chocolate for me.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, the malted bar. I said in the review, and I haven't posted it yet. It's going to get posted tomorrow.
Really? Oh, that's nice.
You guys will see this for 2 weeks.
That's pretty.
Or per week.
That's
What'd you say?
Oh, that's nice.
But no, I do. They have a lot of nice citrus, and it's not an overpowering. Holy crap! I don't like that citrus. It's so smooth. I'm wondering, because I looked at the back of this bottle, Larry. I'm gonna put you down over here. This says distilled in Kentucky and hand bottled by Larrikin. Does that mean Larrikin distilled it? I don't know, but I will say that
their cigar blend says the same thing: distilled in Kentucky, hand bottled by Larrikin.
Interesting. What does that bottle say, Todd?
Distilled in Kentucky, hand bottled by Larrikin.
Ooh, so okay. So that's a question I would love to have Greg on for, because.
So Todd, have you had the cigar lounge too?
Yes, I love that. I have a bottle of that over there.
Oh, so good. I mean, what I like about the cigar lounge is I have like plenty of cigar blends. Like I love a good cigar blend, but this one is cognac, amburana, jackfruit, Madeira, and maple barrels. Like it is quite the combination.
Yeah, we were impressed with how much is in there.
So well.
Well, JB and I said it, and when we were there, when I read the bottle, I'm like, shit, for a cigar, like you look at Penelope cigar, like that's a lot to put in it. That's one of the best Amburana edition bourbons that I've tried to date.
Well, yeah,
I would love to do like an Amburana episode, or like a cigar episode of some sort. I know Todd or Chris and I are going to do a cigar one for Tenglin, but I just think as a whole, the Amburana is a hard thing to do because it's so sweet. We talked about the Amburana being such a pivotal player in the bourbon game recently, and I think it's a lot of times it's just too overpowering. I would like to send us, if I get the bottle for the Secret Santa, I'd like to send out the Dark Arts Amburana Rye, because that bottle is just killer, because the rye kills out a lot of that sweetness that you're not used to.
And that's one thing I don't like about the Amburana, is that it's overpowering. And I have a Rio, hate it, really don't like it. I have a different Amburana, absolutely love it. I think it's great, but it's a craft distillery. But this Larrikin that has the Amburana is just so well balanced with it, with all the other flavors. Like the
Amburana is subtly sweet at the end, and I love that part of it.
Yeah, for me it's not sweet. The maple for me is what gives the sweetness at the end. The Amburana, and this one gives like that very hint of like cinnamon dust.
Yeah. Yep.
God, but in all fairness, I also don't really consider this like, they call it a cigar lounge. I like different types of cigar blends. This is not one that I'm going to sit down and have with a cigar, but I do love it either way. I think it's delicious. It's just not a cigar one for me.
Oh, I
Interesting.
want to open that damn bottle. Yeah, I want to open that damn bottle so bad, but it's Tuesday.
But no, I think we could do some future Larrikin things in this podcast.
Let's go.
Oh, side note, yeah, Greg, I have to wear this costume at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival next year. He had it come in, so because I did some stuff with Chicken Cock and I wore their outfit, and then Greg wanted me to he had this coming for me to wear, and he wanted me to go over to Chicken Cock's distillery tent and ride their chicken wearing the Larrikin kangaroo, but it didn't come in, and then when it came in, it was too small. They came in the wrong size, so he didn't have it. I kept going back every day, and I was talking to him, and he kept coming back. Tried to get the wife to get it, but she just wouldn't do it. So he said, next year, I promise you, I'll have the kangaroo for you to wear.
If you do that, I want to be on the media list.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the second episode of the Game Set Mash podcast. I'm your host, JB, signing off. I hope you had a great time. Larry, did you have a great time over there?
Yes.
Cheers, everybody. Greg Keneally, if you see this, we want you on the pod. Cheers.
Join us on the podcast, please, Greg.
Cheers.